I know they say experience is the best teacher, but trust me, you can learn from other people's experience. So you don't have to experience it before you experience it. You can experience it from other people's lens. 2025 taught me some lessons and I had to learn it the hard way. Yes, I had to learn it the hard way. Also, because I'm trying as much as possible to be accountable to people on my YouTube channel, people that watch me, because this YouTube channel is centered on growth. I'm just a young girl who is trying to grow, who is trying to learn, and who is trying to unlearn, relearn, and as much as possible grow to be a better adult. That is why I've decided that I'm going to share lessons I learned in 2025. Some lessons I learned the hard way. Some I didn't have to learn so hard, but I learned my lesson. But some, trust me, I had to cry to be able to learn those lessons. So, but before that, hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Feyi and I love to be called Theglobalfeyi. Thank you for the love on my previous video. I really do appreciate your help. Thank you for watching me. Thank you for subscribing to my YouTube channel. You know I love you. You know I appreciate you. If this is your first time, my name is Feyi and I love to be called Theglobalfeyi. This YouTube channel is centered on faith, growth, and lifestyle. It is a channel of a young girl who is trying to grow by the help of God and people around us. So please, if you find that interesting, please do well to stick around, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, let me know that you like it, and I'll really appreciate it. Now let's get right into why we are here. I learned lessons in 2025. It took me a whole month to be able to get this down on my phone, and I'm going to be sharing it. So this particular video is going to be lessons I learned in 2025. As I said, some I had to learn the hard way and some I didn't have to learn the hard way. So let's jump right into it. First of all, my first point here is it has to be God. God has to be your first plan. God has, I mean, that's the lesson I've learned. So I'm going to be using myself as an example. God has to be your first plan. God has to be your second plan. God has to be your third plan. There is no plan A, B, C anywhere. It has to be God. Yes, God can use people, but God has to be the center of everything. If you put your trust in man's gonna fail you. Yeah. So you have to put your trust in God, because if you put your trust in God, that is where you will know that even if even if a man fails me, God can never fail me, right? But if you go and put your trust and say, okay, this person has promised that this person is going to do this person is going to do this, trust me, the person is gonna fail you and there's nothing you're going to do about it. Yes, you will not beat the person. Yes, you can feel sad, you can say, oh, people are scum and everything, but you will not beat the person. But at least you know that God honors his words even more than his name. If he has given you a promise, he's going to fulfill it. So he has to be what? God, and God. Another lesson that I had to learn is that, so this one is a bit emotional for me. It is okay to feel disappointed by people that feel close to you. Yes, I said it with my mouth. Sometimes it is even the people that feel close to you that will disappoint you the most. Or let me say that sometimes the disappointment of people close to you are the disappointments you feel the most, like you feel hurt the most, basically. I've had to deal with an experience where I felt hurt, and I felt betrayed, right? And it did not come from people like outsiders. It came from people that I knew. It came from people really close to me. It came from people that I would say they are my confidants. I would say they are the people I love, the people I trust. That was where it came from. So it did not come from an outsider. So people that you feel like they are really close to you. I mean, there's a balance to everything, and I'm going to definitely share the balance. But people that you feel close to you might be the one that will disappoint you the most. But you need to be okay with it. Like, I feel like I got to a place where I was okay with it. I got to a place where, by the help of God, honestly, I couldn't have done it by myself, because I mean, when things started to unfold, I got so pissed. I got so angry. I dealt with unforgiveness. Yes, I have gotten to a place where I have intentionally forgiven, maybe not forgotten, but I've intentionally decided to forgive and to move on. Yeah. So people that are closest to you would be the one to hurt you. And I think it is just normal, because people that are closest to you are the ones that have access to you the most. And people like you kind of have that, like, this emotional connection, and you just feel like these people cannot do anything to me. Trust me, they are the ones that will hurt you the most. I learned this the hard way. So what I've now done over time is try to make sure that I am prepared for it. I'm not prepared to be disappointed, but I'm not prepared not to be disappointed. If you get what I mean. So I'm just right now, I'm in a place where I just take every day as it comes. When things started to happen and I felt really, disappointed, I felt really hurt, I felt really betrayed by the people that I thought loved me, like I thought they loved me, right? And I started to feel that way. I had to remind myself of something that someone will always say, and I think that'll be my major anchor for today. So someone I respect so much always says something: the best of human is human. And as humans, we are like always, we are prone to to offend each other. We are prone to different things, right? So the person said it last year or last 2 years, I can't remember now, but that thing has stuck in my brain. And when things started to happen, I started to remind myself that the best of human is human. And it's just what it is, right? Another lesson that I had to learn, but I mean, people always say it, but it did not really click until I had to be in that situation, would be that it is okay to make mistakes, but it's very important to learn from those mistakes, right? It is okay to make mistakes, but it will be a crime if you keep repeating those same mistakes. Trust me, in 2025, I made a lot of mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. I'm not even going to be, I might share later in future mistakes I think I genuinely made in 2025. But for now, I'll just say that I made a lot of mistakes. But one thing that has helped me was the fact that I was able to learn from that mistakes. Trust me, it's not easy. It's not easy to pick yourself up after making a lot of mistakes, but you really cannot wallow in those mistakes. It has happened. It has happened. Yes, it has happened. The best of human is still human. At the end of the day, Oluwafeyi Kemi is just human. And yes, she has made that mistake, but it will be a crime if you don't pick yourself up and learn from that mistake and don't repeat that mistake, because it will be a crime if you keep making that same mistake. Then that means you are not learning. You need to learn from your mistakes, move on with life, and mistakes happen, really. Mistakes happen. And yes, people make mistakes. I made a lot of mistakes. But one thing that has helped me was that I was truthful to myself. I took accountability for my actions. I was accountable for those actions, and I learned from that mistakes. Trust me, if I'm going to make that same mistake again, then I did not learn anything. But trust me, I learned. I learned. And I don't think those mistakes I made, I don't think I'm going to make them anymore. Trust me. But I think one of the things that helped me to not to wallow in that mistake was because I was able to, talk to people. Yeah, I was able to talk to people, and I was able to pick myself up and be accountable to myself, to tell myself the truth. I told myself the truth. Feyi, you made these mistakes. You are not supposed to do this and you did this. You are not supposed to do this and you did this. But it's okay. Now you can learn from those mistakes and you can move on with your life. And I think that really helped me. It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. Most people make mistakes. It is just always good that you learn from those mistakes and don't let those mistakes define you. Your mistakes are not you. You don't let the situation or what you have done define you, because it's not really you. So I learned that as well. Another lesson which I've learned would be that I wrote it here, so I'm going to read it because it's quite long. Good people make wrong choices sometimes. Just because they make wrong choices doesn't mean they are bad people. I've met good people in my life. Yes, last year, I'll tell you very interesting something. Last year, I was trying to form a connection, like something that I was seeing that was going to stand the test of time and last long, right? The person is quite older than me, as children already, it's not like maybe the person is young. The person is probably like 20 years older than I am, but I was trying to form a connection with their family, at least, to have that bond, right? But I realized that they didn't really like me as much as I thought they did. And this is how I knew. I knew because of the choices they made when about situations that concerned me, right? So I knew that this person does not love me as much as I thought they did. And what I did at the point was, because I was very angry. I was very angry. I was detached completely. I was on my own. And I think it was a very big mistake. I don't necessarily regret it, but I mean, I should have handled the situation better. But I detached myself. I made sure that I was clear on the boundary. I didn't want to have anything to do with this particular person. I started to hear things. I started to see things. I started to hear things from, So the person actually called me on top of this matter. Hey, so this person wanted me to be suspended on top of this matter. Like I started to hear and I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And trust me, I respect the person. Even now, I don't have, even right now, I don't have a relationship with the person. I'm not I'm not the person's enemy, but we're not friends, if you get what I mean. I realized that, I don't even have to be friends with everybody. If I'm trying to create a connection and it did not work, it's not because maybe the person is a bad person. It's not because I am a bad person. The person just made some wrong choices. It affected me, and it doesn't make the person a bad person. So I learned that actually, because when other things happened, I saw how good this person was. So I knew that, okay, this person is not a bad person. The person just made a wrong choice. The person just made a wrong decision that affected me, or is still affecting me. And because of that, we might not be close. We might, like, have a distant relationship. But does it make the person a bad person? No, the person is definitely not a bad person. So I learned. I mean, I used to feel like the person was a bad person, honestly. But I learned quickly that wrong, because people make wrong choices, because people make bad choices, do not really make them a bad person. Because, as I said, people make mistakes. They might not even see those choices as bad, they might not see those choices as wrong, but for me, it was a very wrong move. It was a very wrong thing to do. And I was angry at the time, so I didn't even want anything to do with them. But right now, I'm really at a point where I have found peace. I have prayed, and I've just moved on. So another lesson, it was a very hard lesson, but I've learned is good people actually make wrong choices, and sometimes they even make choices that will affect you. But you also need to understand that the best of human is human, and that's going to be my anchor point. The best of human is human. I've never had to deal with this before. Trust me, I've had older friends, old people that are older than them, and I've never had to deal with it before. But I think God is just because of the next season of my life that I'm going into, God is trying to prepare me down that these things will happen. But you need to understand that it doesn't make them a bad person. Because they've made wrong choices does not mean they are bad. They might just be bad for you, but it doesn't mean they themselves in their entirety, they're like bad people, right? And I learned that lesson. Another lesson I have learned, and this one I learned the hard way, is that speak up. Always speak up for yourself. Always speak up for yourself. If you are hearing a wrong narrative that is being pushed about you, and you think it is not the right one, speak up. If you hear they said this person said this person said this person said, go and speak up for yourself. Not speaking up, it affected me. It costs me a lot. So trust me when I say it is okay to speak up for yourself. Speak up for yourself. I mean, you don't have to speak up for yourself in all situations, but there are some situations that warrant that you speak up for yourself. You have to always stand for yourself. Don't let anybody throw a wrong narrative about you. If you have heard something, or someone has told you something that this is what I'm hearing about you, and you know it's not the right thing, speak up. Speak up. Don't allow people to throw wrong narratives about you everywhere. It's not gonna work. Speak up for yourself. Don't keep short. Don't ever keep short. Always speak up. I learned this lesson the hard way, and that's what I'm telling you now. Always speak up for yourself. If as a young person, even if you feel like you are speaking up against people that are older than you, and you feel like, oh, these people, they're older than you, they will not understand you. Regardless, still speak up. Don't be disrespectful about it, but always make sure that you defend yourself. Always make sure that you speak up when you're supposed to speak up. Don't keep short. Don't keep short, because when you keep short, it allows that wrong narrative to be the right narrative. You don't necessarily have to attack the person. When you demand accountability for that thing that they have said, trust me, they won't be able to see anything. They'll just be stuttering. So always make sure that you speak up for yourself. And I think I learned that the hard way. That's why since we started this year, I've been speaking up for myself a little bit more than I would do on a normal day. And I enjoy that. I enjoy that part of me. I've really grown. I've really grown in 2026. I've really grown from those experiences to who I am right now. The last thing I would say, and the reason why I'm making it the last one, is just because I know that it's a very controversial topic. So I have to make it the last one. Do not be rushed into forgiveness. I know as Christians, we should always forgive, because even the Bible says, forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. I know, but do not ever be rushed into forgiveness, because I realize that if you are rushed into forgiveness, it creates a sense of resentment. Allow yourself to process those emotions. Allow yourself to be human. Allow yourself to be hurt, not to a point where you are not able to return, but actually don't just when the thing when things happen, and maybe you are disappointed by something, and this happens. Don't be cajoled into forgiving. Don't be rushed into forgiving. Allow yourself to actually want to forgive the person that wronged you or the situation before you forgive. Do not ever be rushed into forgiveness, because it doesn't end well. Trust me, I have been rushed into forgiveness, and I realized that over time it grew into resentment, because I wasn't able to process my emotions. I wasn't able to process what happened. But because as a child of God, you should forgive, right? As a child of God, don't hold malice. I was not able to really process what has happened. I just had to forgive. But I realized that I didn't forget. Even now, I have forgiven genuinely, but I've not forgotten. But I mean, I'm not hurt by the details. Like now, I can say it like just it like a story, but I'm not like hurt by the details. You get what I mean? So instead of just like pushing me, oh, just forgive this person. How about you allow me process my emotions, allow me process what have happened, allow me pick lessons from what has happened, so that I'm able to forgive better, so that I'm able to see this person's point of view, so I'm able to understand where this person is coming from. I think it is better that way. So do not ever be rushed into forgiving. I mean, I was rushed into forgiving at some point in life, in time, and I don't think it ended well. So I would say that as a young person that is trying to like grow, don't ever feel the rush to forgive, but always remember that as a Christian, we are encouraged to forgive people that offend us, forgive people that hurt us, because Jesus Christ forgave all our sins. Always remember. Always remember that let that always be at the back of your mind at all times. But do not ever be rushed into forgiving. But I would always encourage that at the end of everything, try as much as possible to always find a way to forgive people that have hurt you. You get. This is the end of today's video, and I hope that you've been able to learn one or two things by the lessons I learned in 2025. If you also have some lessons, or you can relate with the lessons I have learned, please put them in the comment section. I'll be there to respond as much as possible to every comment I get. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget, subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, share this video to your friends and family, and I'll see you on my next one.